All right, let's talk about how to build a value ladder inside of a hybrid community. I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to show you the value ladder that I'm building in my own community or have been building now for the past 5 years. And I'm going to show you and give you some ideas for how you can work on building a value ladder for your own hybrid community. And this can be applied to memberships and other types of communities as well. Okay, so what is a value ladder? In this context, the way that I like to think about it, a value ladder is a way for both you and your member to get more value from each other over a period of time, and that value goes up as they climb the ladder. So, for example, in the beginning, it might start off with you getting a little bit of money from the member and the member getting a little bit of value from you. As they climb the rungs of the ladder, eventually you're getting a lot of money from the member and they're getting a lot of value from you. The whole point of this, in my eyes, is that both sides should be saying, dang, that was a lot of value. I love this relationship. I want to walk you through my own value ladder in my own hybrid community and give you some ideas for how you can implement this with your own community. We'll come back to rung number 1 in a second. I actually covered that recently in another video. Rungs 2 and rungs 3 are actually membership tiers inside of my community. Rung number 2 here is my quarterly membership. So I'm just going to put quarterly membership. Rung number 3 is my annual membership. Now you might say, well, why is the annual membership higher on the ladder here if it's essentially giving you access to the same thing? And they don't have to. You could have different tiers in your membership, and the different tiers could give access to different things. I've seen some annual memberships unlock exclusive access to the community owner. I've seen various different things. In my community, they're identical. So why is annual membership higher on the ladder? Well, that's because between the annual and the quarterly membership, they basically get a $100 discount. So they'll get a $100 discount, and that means they get more value. I get slightly less value over time, but I get higher value up front. So in my eyes, they're getting a discount. I'm getting more money up front. We both win. It works out in the end. So you can see here on my checkout page, this is getting access to rungs 2 or 3 on my value ladder. They come to my checkout page, they purchase, they join the membership, they're now a member. Now, I could have also put in here another rung, and that would be lifetime membership. So maybe I'll just draw that in right about here and put like a lifetime deal, LTD. And again, what's the difference? Well, I get more cash up front, a lot more cash up front, but they're going to get a much greater long-term discount. My lifetime deal is kind of hidden away. If you can't find it, let me know if you're interested. But otherwise, I bring it back in a big way about once a year. So the lifetime deal would be like rung, let's just call it 3.5. You get the idea. Now let's go back to rung number 1 here. This is that entry point into the value ladder. I actually made a video about this. It's the video before this one, and it's all about using affiliate bonuses as lead magnets. And in that video, I walk you through how I get people into my community to start generating revenue for my business while also getting value for themselves and then upgrading themselves further within the community, all the exposure there. And again, I went over that entire process in this video right here. So we're going to put that here as our affiliate. We'll just put lead magnets like that. So through my affiliate bonus lead magnets, they get access to my community. They start climbing the ladder. I go over all of those details here inside of this YouTube video. Again, I'll link it in the description down below and likely at the end of this video. Give that a watch. I go through how people can get access to various bonuses inside my community by purchasing through my affiliate links. It's a pretty good deal for everybody involved. Again, keeping with the idea of the exchange or the reciprocal value. So let's recap real quick. We have the affiliate bonus, that's rung 1. We have the quarterly membership, rung 2. Annual membership, rung 3, a lifetime deal, which is the kind of like step between 3 and 4. And now let's go to rung 4 on my hybrid community value ladder. Now, rung number 4 are what I call upgrades or add-ons. I'm going to call these passive, mostly passive. I'll talk about that in a second. I'll call them passive income add-ons. Now, what is a passive income add-on? Well, in my own community, I'm going to use myself as the example. I offer things to members that they can pay more for and get more value kind of from me. So one example here would be high level. I offer high level accounts at a 50% discount to members of Convology Plus. I offer these for $50 per month when they are normally $97 per month if you go through high level directly. So it's essentially almost a $600 savings annually if you are a member of Convology Plus. So if you were thinking to yourself, well, I wanted to use high level anyway, and I was thinking of joining Convology Plus anyway. When you bring the two together, that's a huge discount and savings for the member. So that's one of my biggest passive income add-ons, and it represents a significant amount of revenue for my hybrid community business model. Now, the word passive here in passive income upgrades or add-ons is kind of a pipe dream. It's not really true. It's more of like a kind of sort of passive income add-on. In some respects, an add-on like the high-level account add-on is somewhat passive unless the person has support, which is honestly a big reason why I charge for it anyway, rather than just including it in the cost of the membership, something I've toyed with in the past. I think if I ever did that, I would only include it in the annual membership plan, but at that point, I'd be separating value between the two and it just becomes more complex. So you can kind of forget the word passive and just think of it as like membership add-ons. And if we do it that way, another one of the add-ons in my own membership is booking calls. So this is a huge revenue driver for my business. Booking calls with my members could sometimes represent $1,000 to $2,000 a month. It's people who are a member, they attend the office hours, they get help from me, they get all their questions answered, but they decide, you know what, I'm a busy doctor, or I'm an author, I've got a book coming up, or I need to get this funnel launched, I need an extra set of hands, I need some kind of push over the finish line. So they'll book a call with me at $225 for the hour. And I only got that business because they were a member. So you can be thinking about different add-ons in your business that you want to make available to members of your hybrid community, and you can see how this can, over time, lead to a substantial increase in revenue. In my own business, something that I've done for years historically, my membership actually used to be lifetime only. So I would sell this at like $1,500. It's more now, but I used to sell this at $1,500, and I would have members, and still do, who stick around for 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got some members now who are in their 4th year of the lifetime deal, and I don't continue to make revenue off of those members. So if you do offer the lifetime membership model, then I would say you absolutely 100% need to look into building in these passive income or income add-ons to your hybrid model. Okay, so if the 4th rung on the ladder was add-ons, the 5th rung on the ladder, and in my own personal hybrid community model, this is the last rung on my ladder. This goes one step further than an add-on, and this is a membership upgrade. Membership upgrades are something that I'm just now rolling out, so I don't have any numbers on the success. I can tell you this right here represents a huge bonus. The add-ons, it's a huge bonus to my community revenue, but the membership upgrades is something that I'm just now rolling out, and I'm going to show you an example of what one of those would be. So I'm putting together what I'm tentatively right now calling a business accelerator, and that's going to be $797 per quarter. And that's a significant investment, right? That's even more than the cost of membership. But the reason I'm pricing it so high is because I don't want this to be something that everybody feels like they should take, or even price at a point where everyone would consider taking it. Let me actually go ahead and show you the example of a business accelerator. So this is an idea that I'm putting together. This isn't final, but essentially it's $797 for the first quarter, and then it renews quarterly at $297. So an initial $797 up front, $297 per quarter, and that gives somebody private community space, like just for them, just for their business, a whole space within my community. They get a business diagnostic call from me, which is basically an hour of me on a call with them. I'm asking them all kinds of questions about their business. They're telling me all about their business. We're identifying, what do you need to get done to launch? Or why are you stalled out? Or what is it you're struggling with that you need my help with? We identify everything on that diagnostic call. Then I put together for the business what I call a business boost blueprint. This is basically my way of designing them out of their problem or designing them toward their solution, giving them the plans for how we're going to solve that problem. And then I also give them a personalized tech stack roadmap. So a lot of my members really have no idea what tools they should be using or what they need in their tech stack. So I put together a complete roadmap for them, but I take it one step further. It's not just a, hey, you should use these tools. I actually create tutorials, if they don't exist already, where I basically create them videos and I say, this is how you implement this tech stack for your business. And then lastly, they get what I call 2 Put Doug to Work calls, which are essentially a $500 value. It's basically 2 of those $225 calls with me where we can execute on the roadmap, the blueprint, and get everything completed. So technically that's 3 calls with me for $7.97 upfront value for me. I don't kind of make a lot of money on the first quarter, but the goal is to keep them in the program. And again, pricing might change, it's tentative, but the key here is that when it renews at $297, they get to keep their private community space and they get 1 call with me per quarter. So here I'll put that it renews at $297. So like I showed here at the bottom of my little pricing table, 3 spots remaining, I'm planning on essentially offering between 3 and 5 of these available per month because my time's limited. And so there's going to be a little bit of scarcity at play, but I'm reserving these. Again, just like the add-ons, these are not for everybody. These are reserved for people who need and want to go that extra step. These people might be further along or they might be further behind and they have the resources to play catch up. So looking at this value ladder, hopefully it starts to make sense how somebody could come in by, let's say, purchasing an affiliate product through me. They get maybe 30 days free access to one piece of my community. Again, I go over all this inside the video. And then they upgrade. So that would be almost like a $0 entry from them. Or maybe they're paying a recurring subscription for a tool that I get a higher commission on. And again, they don't pay anything extra, but they get access to spaces in the community. And if they want to upgrade, it's on me to give and build for them an upgrade path for them to go from the affiliate basically to the member, and they get added value here. So that's on me to build. Then it's on me to identify whether or not the quarterly to annual membership is worth it for me, because I technically get more money if they don't upgrade. But then I need to manage my churn, and it doesn't take much churn for the annual to suddenly become much more worth it. So that's something I need to consider. And then again, if I offer the LTD, that's on me to identify what is my profit maximization. For me, that's at about currently sitting at about $1,500 to $1,700 customer lifetime value. That would mean I need to price this obviously higher. And then again, it's up to me to have to be able to provide these opportunities for people to realize the value of picking up these add-ons. I might have 150 members, but maybe 50 people will take me up on, let's say, this high level upgrade. That could be $2,500 a month or more. So that's a pretty good little revenue driver there as well. So if you're putting together a community, I encourage you to be thinking about these types of things as you're deciding, what am I going to price my membership at? Am I going to include any add-ons for my community? Am I going to have multiple price tiers? Are there going to be upgrades for my members to aspire to? Or maybe they're priced much, much higher, but there's more involvement from you. Things like that, I think, are a huge benefit to a hybrid community. Because again, this goes back to the idea that the community, in a way, in a hybrid community, revolves very much around you and around your business, not so much around this idea of, ooh, I just have a community over here where people are off doing their own thing. The hybrid community model is much more hands-on. Therefore, building in these upgrades and this ascension up the ladder makes a lot more sense when you look at it from that perspective. So that was a look at my own personal hybrid community value ladder. It is by no means perfect. Most of it is experimentation and has come over the past 5 years with a little bit tweaking in the most recent months, coming up with new ideas for upgrades and things like that. But a big part of what I do is trial and experimentation and providing opportunities for increased value for my members while allowing me to increase the value that I receive in return to support and grow my business and keep me being able to provide that service to my members. So if you'd like to learn more about hybrid communities and what they are, I highly recommend you check out this video. And if you want to watch that video that I talked about earlier with the affiliate bonuses, check out this one. It's a great opportunity for you to learn how you can bring people into your community and grow your community from an earlier stage.